Hello, my name is Isabella Hall, and I will be doing my verbal analysis for the midterm on Dr. Bradford Vivian with his speech on campus misinformation and academic freedom. So, certain things that he did particularly well were he made sure everyone could hear him very well. I was kind of towards the back of the room, and I could hear him perfectly, so he had very good projection during his entire speech. He made a lot of eye contact. He sort of followed like the 80-20 rule, where he made 80% of the time he made eye contact with the audience, and then 20% of the time he was like looking away, which is kind of the golden rule that you should follow during a speech. So that was really good. He used voice inflections to bring emphasis to certain words, like major if he was talking about something important, to kind of bring more attention to the topic that he was talking about then. He used hand movements to coordinate with the words that he said and to bring emphasis to certain topics. So if he was talking like about the environment or a community, he would go like community, like that, and he would just bring emphasis to certain statements and words to bring attention to that. He would move around to keep the attention of the audience instead of just standing in one spot the entire time. He did return to like the same spot after walking around like almost every time, but I think it was still very helpful that he was like walking around instead of just staying in one spot the whole time. He used slides as a visual aid but didn't read directly off of the slide, which I think was good. He had just like bullet points of like the main things he was talking about during that section of the speech, which really helped guide the audience into understanding what he was talking about. When he misspoke, he just corrected it and moved past it without staying on it for too long, which can affect the speech if you really put emphasis on when you misspoke. So I think it was good he just kind of moved past it and it kept that good flow of the speech. He explained the images that he included in the slides, which I thought was good. Instead of just having them there to look at, he made sure the audience understood how that image was important to what he was talking about. He also gave a warning before he mentioned bigoted or offensive language during his speech, because he referenced that quite a bit, so he gave a warning each time to make sure that the audience was comfortable, which was good. He explained confusing terms and phrases to make sure that what he was saying was easily understood by the audience, instead of just using a lot of difficult or long words and then breezing past it. He explained a lot of what he said, so that was really good to increase the understanding of the audience. He related to the audience a lot, which I think created a better connection between the audience and the speaker. He referenced the University of Pittsburgh a lot and the vocabulary that our generation uses, and he made a lot of jokes, which helped him pull focus and bring attention back in. Since the speech was a little bit long, I think it just kept everybody engaged. He explained the resources and the sources that he had referenced and used to compile his speech, which showed a great amount of credibility, which is always good to show as a speaker. He connected later info with the earlier points that he made, so it was kind of like a full circle with the main argument that he was making with his speech. He answered the questions that the audience asked entirely, and encouraged questions as well by using words like please and go ahead, so that people felt comfortable asking questions. And throughout the entire speech, he had a very positive and engaging attitude. It was never monotone. It was very engaging. Some of the things that I did notice that could be considered not the best during a speech were that he used and a lot during the speech, he's very often, which is something that is normal for many speakers because you're just trying to gather your thoughts. But I think it can sometimes negatively affect the speech if it's used extremely often, and it was during the speech. During the speech, he also looked at the floor or closed his eyes to gather thoughts a lot, which led to long pauses in the speech, which can also negatively affect the speech. He also, during the speech, there was maybe a solid 5 minutes where he was just kind of monotone reading from a paper. It was a lot of quotes and history, so that makes sense to get everything exact, but it was just very monotone, and it kind of my attention kind of drifted away because it was just 5 to 7 minutes of him just reading directly from the paper. He called everyone in the room American, which can be kind of a bad thing to assume there was no like international students there, so I thought that was a little bit negative. And then there were certain confusing words that he used that were a little bit unexplained, but I think that that is okay, because he explained almost everything. So yeah, I think overall he spoke really well and it was a really good speech.